Good morning. This is Paula at the Jidone Library, and this is Paula's Picks. Today I'm going to read you stories about mice. And the first one I have is called Nicholas, Where Have You Been? By Leo Leone, written and illustrated by him. Nicholas, where have you been? At the edge of the great meadow, 4 little field mice were nibbling berries. Look for the red ones, said Elodie. They're the sweetest and the juiciest, said Henry. Because they're ripe, said William. But all they could find were pale pink berries that were neither sweet nor juicy. The ripe red ones had already been picked. The birds got here before you, said Uncle Raymond, who was watching them. That's not fair, said Nicholas. Why should they get the best berries? Down with the birds! Down with the birds, all the little mice shouted. Then and there, Nicholas decided to look for a berry patch that the birds had not yet discovered. He would find the sweetest and juiciest berries in the whole world. Without telling anyone, he set out across the great meadow. He walked on, seeing nothing but the tall grass that surrounded him. At last, Nicholas reached a clearing. He scanned the horizon, but there wasn't a berry in sight. Then suddenly he heard the noise of flapping wings. He looked up. A big, ugly bird swooped down on him. Before Nicholas could run back into the tall grass and hide, the bird grabbed him with its sharp claws and carried him up into the sky. Help! Help! Nicholas shrieked. He twisted and wiggled wildly, and the bird lost its grip. Nicholas plunged through the air. He landed in a nest where 3 little birds were dozing. They jumped up. Who are you? They asked. I am Nicholas, a field mouse, and he told them about his adventure. Stay with us, said the birds. You can tell us mouse stories, and we will tell you all about the birds. Then their mother appeared with a worm. Mother, said one of the little birds, this is Nicholas, a field mouse. May he stay with us? Of course, said the mother bird. But what do little field mice eat? Berries, said Nicholas. Field mice like nuts and corn and berries, ripe red berries. The mother bird flew off and soon returned with a bright red berry. Nicholas couldn't believe his eyes, and it was the sweetest berry he had ever tasted. The days flew by. Nicholas ate berries to his heart's content. He and the little birds peeped and tweeted mouse songs, bird songs, and funny stories. And at night, they cuddled up against the mother bird's soft down. But one morning, Nicholas woke up to discover that his friends had flown away. They had left a big pile of berries in the nest, but Nicholas was too sad to eat. Nicholas knew that the time had come for him to leave the high nest. Fearfully, he climbed down the tree, from branch to branch, from twig to twig. When he finally reached the ground, he found himself face to face with Elodie, Henry, and William. Nicholas! They shouted excitedly. Where have you been? We have been looking all over for you. Nicholas began to tell what had happened. But when he told how the big ugly bird swooped down and grabbed him with its claws, the others became furious. And before Nicholas could add another word, they shouted, down with the birds! War on the birds! War on all the birds! They shouted on and on. And there they are, shouting about war on the birds. Let me finish, Nicholas insisted desperately. Let me finish my story. When the mice had finally quieted down, Nicholas told them about the nest, the birds, the songs, and the stories. Little by little, the anger faded from their faces. Suddenly they shouted, "Nicholas, look behind you!" Nicholas turned around. There were the birds. In their beaks they carried the ripe red berries he knew so well. "For you," they said. Just then Uncle Raymond appeared from behind a tree. He smiled and slowly raised his cane. "That shows you," he said. "One bad bird doesn't make a flock." Then he joined the others. In a feast, everyone, including Uncle Raymond, agreed that the berries were the most delicious that they had ever tasted. What a cute book. Book about mice. Now let me read you another book about the mice called Three Pebbles and a Song. This one is written by Elaine Spinelli, and the pictures are by S.D. Schindler. Three Pebbles and a Song. Across the moonlit fields, crackly old leaves twirled and skittered, and so did Moses. As he danced, his mama came bustling by. "What are you doing, Moses?" Mama asked. "I'm twirling and skittering," said Moses. "Snow's coming," Mama sighed. "We need food, warm things for the nest, gathering's best." So Moses set off to gather. But as the wind skid-a-whisked through the papery stalks of corn, Moses couldn't resist joining in the wistily song. As he sang, his papa came hurrying by. "What are you doing, Moses?" asked Papa. "I'm singing and humming a wistily song," said Moses. "Snow's coming," Papa squealed. "We need food, warm things for the nest, gathering's best." So Moses set off to gather. A patch of pebbles gleamed beside the creek. Pebbles were not food. They would not keep a nest warm, but Moses couldn't resist picking one up. Moses tossed the pebble into the air. He caught it. Moses picked up another pebble. He tossed both. He caught them. Then 3 pebbles up in the air. Catch a toss, catch. His sister Missy came scurrying by. "What are you doing, Moses?" Missy asked. "I'm tossing and catching." "Catching and tossing," said Moses. "Snow's coming," Missy yelped. "We need food, warm things for the nest. Gathering is best." Snow came. Thick and fast it fell and fell. Moses scampered back to the nest. Mama was there. She had gathered an apron full of crumbs. Papa was there. He gathered 4 soft rags and a sack full of corn. Missy was there. She had gathered 5 raisins. But Moses had gathered only a dance, a song, and 3 glistening pebbles. Ever so slowly, the wintry days and nights passed. Outside, the snow lay cold and deep. But thanks to Papa's soft rags, the nest was warm. Thanks to the corn and Mama's crumbs, there was plenty to eat. And thanks to Missy's raisins, there was even something sweet for special occasions, such as Papa's birthday and Be Nice to Mice Day. "In fact," said Papa, "life would be just about perfect if only we weren't so..." "So what?" Moses asked. "Bored," sighed Mama. "Bored stiff," squealed Papa. "Bored to tears," yipped Missy. "When I'm bored," Moses says, "look what I do." He pulled the 3 pebbles from his pocket. "Catch a toss, catch." Everyone clap, clap, clapped. Then Moses sang a wistfully song that sounded like wind through the corn. Everyone cheered, cheered, cheered. Then Moses began to twirl and to skitter. He grabbed Missy by the hand. Then Missy grabbed Mama. Skitter and twirl, twirl and skitter. Together they danced round and round. Before long, everyone was giggling and out of breath. And ever after, all snowy season long, the words, "I am bored," were never heard again. Missy juggled corn. Papa sang a song that sounded like snow creaking on the roof. Mama spun and dipped. In fact, everyone was having such a good time that Moses was the only one who noticed when spring arrived. So Moses contributed too, didn't he? Everybody was bored, but what he learned, he brought, and they had a bunch of fun. So now I'm going to read you a story about a mouse named Aberdeen. The best adventure is finding your way home. This is written and illustrated by Stacy Previn. Aberdeen. Aberdeen didn't mean to leave the yard, but a balloon floated by, so he followed it. It bobbed along, taunting Aberdeen as he tried to catch it, touching down only for a second, then drifting back into the sky. He didn't mean to dig up his neighbor's flowers, but the balloon flew into their yard, so he burrowed under the fence to find it. Finally, he caught it as it rested in their garden. Aberdeen didn't mean to fly away, but his tail got tangled in the string from the balloon, and a gust of wind blew them both up into the air. He dangled over the dandelions and floated through the field. He didn't mean to pop the balloon, but his nail scratched it as he twisted in the wind, and he tumbled through the weeds. Past curious crickets and into soft mud. So he splish-splashed in a puddle until he was clean again. Aberdeen didn't mean to wander into the forest, but he was getting hungry, and the acorns looked so tasty. So he sat on a rock, eating his fill as the sun began to set. An owl hooted from the tree above and startled him. Hoo, 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 hoo. Aberdeen didn't mean to cry, but his mama had warned him about owls. He was all alone, and it was getting dark. He missed his mama so badly that he thought he heard her call his name. Aberdeen! Aberdeen didn't mean to make so much noise, but he needed to scare away the owl. So he threw the acorn as hard as he could against the tree. It rustled the leaves, then crashed into the tree, and the owl flew away. This time, he was sure he heard his mother calling, "Aberdeen!" And he ran toward her voice. "I'm sorry," Aberdeen said. "I didn't mean to make you worry." "I know, sweetie," Mama replied and held him tightly. "But you did." but they're back together now, huh? Maybe he won't do that again. So I have one more book that instead of illustrations, it has photographs of real animals. And it's called Will You Be My Friend? It's by Susan Laurie, and the photographs are by Murray Head. Will you be my friend? Can I tell you a secret? Here it is. I am shy, and I am quite worried. Do you want to know why? I need a friend. And the trouble, you see, will be finding a friend for a shy guy like me. This peacock's too fancy. This frog is too jumpy. This duck is too noisy. That bird looks grumpy. Too busy. Too hairy. Too many. Too scary. Mouse, stop your complaining, said the real grumpy bird. You want a friend? Is that what I heard? Well, you already have one, so listen to me. Keep looking. You'll find him. Hint, he lives in a tree. Now, leave me alone. I hate giving advice to anyone really, but mostly to mice. I kept up my search because the grump said he knew that I had a friend, so I followed his clue. Look in the tree. I found a big owl. We talked the whole day. Hoo, 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 hoo. That's all he would say. It couldn't be him, so I searched the next tree. I saw a small squirrel, but he's shyer than me. I can't find my friend. Are you sure he is here? I asked the mean grump, who said, yes, he is near. Your friend is quite close. That is hint number 2. I can see him right now. That is the last hint for you. Well, I saw a cute chick who wanted his mother. I saw 2 raccoons, but they had each other. Grump, I've looked everywhere. I've searched the whole day. Not him, her, or them. That's all that you say. I do not know what you are talking about. Where is this friend? I can't figure it out. Mouse, you have a secret, and I have one too. I may be real grumpy, but I'm shy, just like you. So will you be my friend? The grump spoke really fast. I was frightened to ask, but I've asked it at last. We played every day, and in a short while, I saw that his frown was the same as his smile. What a great surprise to find in the end. So I stopped calling him Grump, and I called him my friend. Very pretty pictures, huh? So now I'm going to show you how to make a wooden spoon mouse. There he is. And this would be great for you because I've made little kits for this. So you can come to Jaya Down and you can get a kit, either curbside or you can come in now. Pick up a kit, and inside the kit is a piece of construction paper with a round stencil. So you can trace around the circle to cut out the big round white ears. And then there are 2 pink circles. So you want to glue one in each of the white ears, the bigger white ears. And then, see how they're put on? This is the front of the mouse's face, and the shovel is the back. And you want to glue each of those ears to the back that way. And then you have 2 pieces of yarn. One will be his whiskers. Here's his whiskers. So you want to cut little pieces and glue on the whiskers. Oh, and I can tell you that a glue stick will glue all of this on. So you don't need anything more than that. And then the long piece of yarn is for his tail. So you glue it on the back. There's his tail. And then you have 2 Google eyes for his eyes, 1 pom-pom for his nose, and then you can draw on with like a Sharpie his little mouth. And there is your wooden spoon mouse. And as I said, it's a kit that you can get at Jayadone. So just drop by. We'll bring it out to your car, or you can come in now, pick up one of these kits, make a mouse. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll see you next Monday. Goodbye.